Hello and welcome, Team Phoenix, to our show. This is the Social Sales Engineer with Amanda Bertucci. Welcome, everybody, on LinkedIn Live or YouTube Live. No matter where you are, you see our backgrounds are a bit different today. Let's touch on that in a second. First of all, I want to also dedicate this show for the Ukraine. Please help where you can, support them. I'm very, very sad. I think we are very, very sad about everything that's happening there. So we are with you, and please, we hope and pray that everything will be good soon. Nevertheless, we want a bit the show keeping going the show, right? So Amanda, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here, taking the time. We will be talking about gaming today, but this has to do with sales engineering, especially gaming and girls in particular. Also, of course, gaming and sales, girls and sales engineering. There's this Twitch stream behind me. This is a girl streaming a game. And what's in your background, Amanda? And please
Oh,
introduce.
that's my favorite game. It's called Red Dead Redemption 2. I've been playing it for a long, long time. I say that I have a second life in that game. So, I wanted to bring my favorite one today.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let's talk about this a bit later. First of all, please introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? What's your role in sales engineering? Why do you love it?
Cool. So, hi, everybody. My name is Amanda. I've been in the IT industry for over 20 years, 21 years now. Started right off high school when I was just 17. So, it's been quite a long journey. I've been working with pre sales for about 15 out of those 21 years. 15,
Okay.
16 years.
Yes.
And just like a lot of people that I know in the industry, I fell into pre-sales kind of by accident. So
Mhm.
somebody started taking me to sales meetings, and I was specializing in a certain type of solutions, and that's how it started. I think that 15, 16 years ago, the role was kind of getting built, and I was actually joking with some colleagues yesterday that when I was a kid, I never told my parents I wanted to be on pre-sales when I grew up.
Mhm.
But like many of us, that's where I ended, and I love it. I love talking to customers. I love solving their problems, and yeah. I live and breathe pre-sales and technology. Been doing that for so long. And I also I also love games, video games, board games, anything. Those were really helpful for me, developing myself. And role-based playing is very helpful when you're in sales engineering as well, because it helps you put yourself in somebody else's shoes. So yeah. That's who I am. I live in Barcelona.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Brazil, and I've been here for 4 years now. And I'm the mother of a beautiful 7-year-old little girl, who I'm growing up. I'm trying to grow her to be a successful woman. So
Yeah.
let's see how that goes.
Yeah. Same goal here. Yeah. Thank you for introducing yourself and a warm welcome. You said you have a second life in this game behind you. What does that mean?
Well, so this is an open world kind of game. And you can just go whatever you want. You have the missions that you have to do. But if you don't feel like doing the main missions in the game, you can just go explore the world, and you have some different challenges. I just accomplished one of the challenges. I don't know how boring that's going to sound like, but I love it. One of the challenges was that you would have to go to different parts of the world and fish some specific type of fish.
Okay.
Um, so it's like a side mission in the game, and it's like little challenges like that. And then I don't know, you want to learn how to collect herbs from the world and make potions, or health tonics and things like that. So this is a Western kind of game.
Mhm.
So basically, you're a cowboy and you go around this world and you meet your enemies. If you're having, well, for me, when I'm having a stressful day, it's a good way to, release that energy, that stress by, fighting with some enemies. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, in a
it's
non-bloody
good
way, right?
distraction. Yeah,
So that's the good thing. I mean,
yeah.
I often hear my wife. She's not into gaming at all, and I think I will use her today sometimes because yeah, it's about fighting, right? And there is like this notion that this will influence your psyche and will make you a very aggressive person. What do you think about that? Just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I've read studies that confront that and say that, actually it helps you canalize that energy, into
Mhm.
something else, all that aggressiveness. I think it depends a lot. Of course, there are people that probably already have some issues. For me, sometimes it's kind of relieving to just be able it's a game, you have to separate that from reality. My little one, she's 7, like I said. She plays as well, but I'm very cautious about, what she plays. She
Mhm.
loves watching me play Red Dead Redemption, but I don't let her play because there's, language that is not appropriate for her, and it's just too early, so she watches sometimes, but not too much. And there's the whole concern about online gaming. I'm an old school gamer, so I'm not a big fan of online gaming, in which we see a lot of girls thriving today, as the one that we see behind you. There are some really awesome streamers out there
Yeah.
today, and yeah, it's not really my thing. And I think that for my child specifically, I'm a little bit scared to let her go on online playing. Yeah, she's 7, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's quite
it's,
early.
yeah,
Yeah.
quite early for me, quite early for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see it a bit like I do kickboxing, so training like I did before my back made problems. Anyways, but most people who go there don't go out on the street like and look for a fight.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to be fair, there are people who aren't a bit like they are looking exactly for this kind of thing. So they train
Yeah.
to, but they are like the minority. I think it's very similar with games. The main issue is that a lot of people play games, right? So
Yeah.
you have the minority, the absolute numbers can be bigger, right? But
Yeah.
anyway,
Exactly. Exactly.
I think it's a very like I'm with you. It's quite safe hobby in terms of canalizing energy, especially if you had a tough client, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, in some games you can actually build avatars with the face that you want to put on them, just punch them. Oh.
Okay, so do you do things like that? No.
No, I don't. I don't.
Okay.
I don't judge who does it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the theme of our talk today is exactly that, right? So gaming, like exactly like those games, is perceived to be more boyish, right? And in the same way, sales engineering seems to be very dominant. Yeah, but my male, right? So
Yeah.
how do you see this play out? Is this something that you want to fight, or do you think that's okay, but girls need to adjust, or is it something that boys need to change to allow more girls? What's your opinion about sales engineering and girls, and maybe how this plays out with games in the same way?
Yeah. So, like, taking one step back, it's such a complex topic because it has so many things around it, and
Yeah,
we're all biased. I'm biased, you're biased. I was
absolutely.
reading a study from the UN that was saying, it's a study from 2020. It was saying that 90% of people worldwide have some kind of bias against women. So it's in us. So first of all, I think it's important to recognize that we're all learning here. And second, once you recognize the bias, you fight it. You perceive it and you fight it. um, and yeah, another interesting statistic is that um, I think it's 80 to 90% of executive roles in the UK and France are occupied by men. And it doesn't mean that girls don't want to be executives, but usually girls take other kinds of jobs, you know? um
Yeah.
and I've always ever since I started, like I said, I started very young, like the beginning of the 2000s, right? I was the different one, you know. I was the intruder in the boys group. Before that, I was studying electronics in high school, and it was very often that I was, you know, the only girl in my class.
Mhm.
So, you know, but I think that's part of how I was growing up, the way that my parents stimulated me and, you know, always encouraged me to go after what I wanted.
Mhm.
Um, I've only had like the cousins I had my age were all boys, so I didn't have much choice to play. I had to play football with them. We were growing up in Brazil, so football is what you play. So
Mhm.
I was always around my cousins and my brother. And when I came to high school, I wanted to study what I wanted, and my parents encouraged me to do that. But
Yeah.
it was hard all the time, you know. And there are aggressions that you receive that really hurt. And there are also like the microaggressions that, you know, they might seem very small, but once you realize them, uh, then you say, "What? Why do I have to go through this?" You know.
Mhm.
So, as an example, when I was in high school, one of my teachers said that I would make more money selling street food than working with electronics. You know,
Oh my God.
and so, you know,
Uh,
it's why do you tell a teenage girl that? You know, of course there were different times. It was different times, but still,
yeah.
that's something that so many years later I never forgot. Or one episode I had one on my first interactions as pre-sales, and I'm very thankful for the managers and the CEO of the company I had at the time, because they gave me a lot of opportunities to go out there and visit customers and everything. I was presenting a project, and the manager in the meeting said, "Does your father know that you're here?" You know, and it's like everybody laughed. It's like a joke, but it hurts. You know, it just like, why? You know, so it's like this these little comments that come off as jokes, but you don't do that. You know, you don't discourage a girl. Or
Mm.
the fact that you always have to show that you know more. You have to put your best over there for people to respect you. When you see your male peers that just do the basic, and everybody just, well, they know what they're doing just because they're guys, you know. So I think it's important to recognize these things. Like I said, recognize the bias and fight the bias, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So, first of all, Dustin, thank you for your message. If everybody in this show has a comment, please send it in. We're happy to answer this, especially around all this, yeah, mean stories, right? That happened to you, right? And I can't say that happened to me as a boy. It
Yeah.
didn't, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Dustin. I agree. I have two daughters too. You have a daughter, Amanda. So let's raise them to be strong girls, right? That can
Yeah.
do everything, right? And I'm sure this bias will go down. I mean,
Yeah.
there might have been another generation that thinks differently. Hopefully.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Um,
I
and
I see
maybe
the
one
difference
thing,
already. Yeah.
what you say, like I wrote down what you said around you would earn money selling street food, right? More than tech. You know what this is? This is an inciting moment that I would use in novel. Like when you have the situation that the hero really grows, right? And you grow this. Now I show this person that I can.
Yeah.
Was it the same instinct for you? Was it like this?
Oh yeah,
Most
definitely.
people
I
would
would
be
love
like,
to meet this teacher again today, you know, and show him how far I got.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he maybe he wouldn't care, but for me, it would be good to see him again, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did push me forward, but it, it might not have, you know. I might have thought, well, maybe that's really not for me. Maybe as a girl, I shouldn't be into tech, you know.
Mm,
Or it's just that there are so many people on the way that discourage you. It's hard. It's hard, like colleagues and of course, like I said before, those were different times 20 years ago. But we still see, for example, little jokes that people send on WhatsApp groups that say, "Oh, it's just a joke,"
yeah.
about women,
Mm,
but it hurts. Don't
mm,
send those jokes. You know, respect your friends, respect your colleagues, um,
yeah.
and yeah, just give equal opportunities. It's so hard already for us to be in tech. You know, just treat us equally. You know.
Yeah. No, definitely. And thanks, Dustin. Yeah, and I think you're right, right? So um, showing girls how to debate with men is a good thing. Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think I had a colleague. She was an account executive, and she had a very serious dad, right? And she always told me, I'm not afraid of sea level. My dad was meaner, like in that sense, right? And I debated so often with him. I knew he loved me, but the way he was rough and tough, right? So she was very much prepared because of her dad, right? And she won the big deals, right? And it was always a pleasure to work with her. I think you're absolutely right, Dustin.
And I think it takes a lot of strength to actually face these people, because we are always taught that we shouldn't, you know. Even like touching a little bit on the initiative, I'm part of the I Am Remarkable initiative. It talks
Yeah.
about self promotion for women and other minorized groups.
Hmm.
Women are not taught to self promote, you know. We're
Yeah.
not taught. If we're doing our best work, we're doing all we can, but we don't talk about it, you know. And that closes the door for, you know, promotions or even just being recognized or getting a better job. There's some statistics that show that, for example, you probably heard that before, Patrick, but when women apply for a job, they make sure that they hit all the requisites, the list of requisites, and men usually don't. If they do like 70-80%, they apply for the job, you know. they
Yeah.
they will get the other 30%, you know. And women usually don't do that, because we're taught that we need to make sure that we are the best in what we're doing, and we, even though we can show other things that would fill that 30%, we don't. That's something that it was a very hard change for me, you know, to apply for a job that I'm not like in 100% of the requisites. But yeah, I mean, it's not like they're major requisites. You know, I can go around them. I can learn. You know, so yeah, this workshop, it's nice because I think that it's so much struggle that we forget to talk about our achievements. And usually women who talk about their achievements are not very well perceived, but not just by men but also by other women.
Hmm.
So that's why I go back to, you know, we need to recognize our bias. And I think I told you that in a previous conversation before, that we, you know, when I was younger, I used to like always wear my hair up, always, you know, wear pantsuits and talk in a lower pitch and things like that, just so I could fit in with a group, you know, and not look so much like a girl.
Mm,
And that was a huge process for me, because that reflects not only on me, but the way that I see other girls in the industry, you know. So yeah.
I have a question to that before Dustin again. Dustin, thanks for your comments. I work with a strong female SE. She had to fight to make it to where she is. Judy Miller. Judy, if you watch, welcome. Thanks, Dustin, for shouting her out. Right? Yeah, it's maybe you can say what made it tough for her, right? And maybe how she made the way. Maybe we can even invite Judy and you, Dustin. I think we
Yes,
spoke
yes.
about this. Yeah.
I think I've seen Judy on LinkedIn and Pre-Sales Collective and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So, but there's a question to what you just explained, Amanda. Would you say you adjusted to a boy group by it might sound hard, but losing a bit of your female touch?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's I think it's natural for human beings. Like you want to fit in. So yeah, I don't do that anymore. I think that I'm probably not, let's say, as feminine as some of my friends are, but that's just how I am.
Mhm,
But I don't put so much effort to look and talk like that. It comes to the point that I would be making those aggressive jokes against women. I would think that women would have to prove themselves to show that they're as good as the guys. um and that's unconscious. That's not something that you do on purpose, right?
mhm,
That's where the bias is, and it took me some time to realize it and then say, why am I judging this girl if
mhm,
I'm doing to her the same thing that these guys have done to me? Why am
mhm.
I reproducing this behavior? So it's really important to have that conscience. And
Yeah.
I think that it is a process. It's been through many years, and I'm in the point now that I've been helping other women, break these biases and work on themselves and seeing them with a little bit more love and care,
Mhm,
um and just listening. And I think that that's with any minorized group. uh Listen to what they have to say, and understand their struggles. And it's I got to tell you, it's so important to have sponsors and allies, and that's why I think that whenever I'm talking about diversity, inclusion, equity, things like that, I always try to bring men, and white guys, and or people that are part of a majority group, because it's important that they listen and support us. We need help to be able to achieve things. So it's great to see when Dustin says that he wants to empower his little girl, and you
mhm.
know um show her that she can do his job too. That's really important. And that way he's sponsoring her to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Justin goes a bit deeper also on Judy. She's been showing women that they can achieve equality with design skill sets, knowledge, and experience. And I think that's a big point. I'm currently reading a book, a German book from a German. It's a young woman, and she got on a board from a listed company, right? And she was the first and the youngest. And she said, I get asked so ridiculous questions, that she actually made a book out of this. So she
Oh wow.
contacted very successful guys, right,
Hmm.
old and young guys, and asked them in an interview. She turned it around. She asked them those questions she got asked. So, have you thought about your dress today? Or how
Yep.
did you prepare to get this job? This is exactly what you said, right? Where guys would say, I mean, I prepared, right? I got my thing with me, and then I try, and then I will be. This was the answer, right? I will try until things are successful. But if a woman is asked, right, you get asked like, how have you prepared? Are you sure you're ready to do it? Right? Are you sure you can do that? It's
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And this book was eye opening for me, and I had to smile and something. You shake your head like it's not funny, right? It's
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
uh,
Yeah.
on yeah, but I don't know what it is. It, it's kind of biased that's maybe culturally in you, right? And as you said,
Yeah, it's unconscious. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need to observe that. And yeah, I have to say, it became much more aware of that with my girls, right? Like when you
Yeah,
get
something funny happened. I was in a restaurant with my husband, and the waiter came with the menus for us. You know those big menus with pictures on all the
yes,
pages and
okay,
everything. And he handed the menu to me and to my husband, and then my husband starts cursing the guy. Like really bad words. And I'm like, what's going on? Why are you cursing the guy? And then he shows me that the waiter had given me the menu on the salads page for me, and then on the meats page for him. You
yeah,
know, um, it, it's biased. And my husband was so angry that that happened, and he said, "I'm gonna order salad on purpose,"
yeah,
so he
because you
knows
love
it's not a
salad. I know.
women's thing.
It's yeah, no. Most likely, the waiter just wanted to be very, very kind, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like do as much as you could so that you don't need to turn pages or something like that. But of course, it shows a bias.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Dustin, Judy is my mentor for electrical design. She had a hand in hiring me and interviewing me. Yeah, okay,
Oh,
great.
nice, nice. Yeah,
Yeah. So uh, you see, right? So women are very influential, and they have to be because this is what companies need today, right?
yeah,
Nobody needs a boardroom full of those old white-haired guys in jeans and white-collared shirts, right?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
not how companies work today. But apropos shirts, what about your shirt? What are you wearing there?
That's my Rick and Morty sweatshirt. Rick and Morty. I don't know if you guys know. It's well, probably a lot of you know. It's a TV show. It's this scientist guy, crazy scientist, and his grandson, and they go into adventures across the universe. Well, multiple universes. It's quite nice. It's quite funny. I love it. It's one of my geeky things. And I think that it's okay to like geeky things and be a girl. I was watching some videos of girls streaming, and I mean, that's like I said, that's not really my thing because I'm an old school gamer. But they're really great at what they do. They know how to engage their audience. They're even though some of them are so young, they really know what they're doing. And they,
Mhm.
for the most part, they're very respected in their little bubble. But there's always that guy, because they have those live chats, and there's always that guy say, "Oh, you look so cute. Oh,
Yeah.
you know, why comment on her appearance, or something like that. I think that these are the kind of things that need to end. And they're so, I think they're kind of used to it, so they take it very nicely. They just ignore these guys. And I was watching a video with one of them. I think her name is um loser fruit. Yeah, loser fruit. She was playing with a kid. She's like 26 years old, and she was playing with a kid that was like 7. And the kid was like super excited for playing with her.
Yeah.
And at some point the kid says, "You're too old to be streaming. Kids should be streaming." And she was just laughing. She just took it nicely. And but yeah, there are situations that can be kind of funny. So yeah, I think I think that my sweatshirt is also a statement. It's okay for girls to like Rick and Morty. It's okay for girls to be into like I said, board games. I love board games. My husband is into it as well, and we have
Mhm.
friends that we can spend the whole night playing and video games. Yeah, that's about it. And on top of that, sales engineering. And one thing that Dustin had said about the skill sets, experience, knowledge, etc., those are not um, skills or qualities defined by gender.
No.
When you talk about sales engineering or sales engineering leadership, um, what makes a good leader are skills that are not related to their gender. You know,
Hmm.
so it's and that's something that we need to keep in mind. Of course, there are things that if we generalize, women have a way of doing things, men have another way, but that's uh, essentially, if you look at what makes a good leader, uh, that's not related to gender. And I think I have the people that ever reported to me to prove that. Um, it's like,
But I would want to I want to be provocative here.
yes, please.
I would say that's not true
Okay.
because for the mere fact, I think women are, I don't say better leaders, but so male and female can be the same kind of high quality leader, but they are different leaders in
Yeah,
their
yeah.
style, in how they handle conflict, escalations, in how they grow other people. Wouldn't you
But
agree?
isn't that
Because
something
I
that a
see the
man
biggest
can learn?
benefit there, right?
But yeah, just switching. Isn't it something a guy can learn? Like when I was preparing to when I was being trained to be a facilitator for I Am Remarkable,
Mhm.
my instructor is a white straight male.
Yeah,
You know, um, I have my boss, for example. He's a great guy, and he has those skills. He that I look for in a leader. Like taking care of people and helping them grow, enabling them, coaching them, mentoring them. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's the same way that girls could learn things that are seen more as male traits. Guys can learn otherwise too, right?
Absolutely, absolutely agree. I, I want to be a macho in that sense and say,
you
look,
you can be the bad guy. I'll let you.
look, if no, really, but if you say it's essentially the skill sets, both genders can learn this, right? If I'm a macho, I would say, why do we need women then?
Oh wow.
Men can handle it, right?
Well, that you've handled it for centuries. Let us play too.
And I don't think that's the point. You know what I mean?
What
It's
do you mean? Yeah.
no, I think women bring something else to the table,
Yeah, that's
something man
diversity.
can't easily
Yeah,
replicate, like
yeah, yeah. I
or
agree with that.
emulate
Yeah.
or simulate, right?
Yeah, not just women. If you bring a person of color, if you bring
Yeah.
people with different ages, with a person that maybe has a disability, and
Yes.
anybody, if you create a diverse environment, it's always good for the business, right? Because you have different perspectives, you have different inputs, and what I mean, what I'm trying to say is we're not trying to mimic men, but we can develop those skills being who we are. I
Yeah.
don't need to wear my hair short or always wear my hair up and change my voice pitch to be part of the group. And that the same goes for leadership, right? I can learn the skills, but the way that I apply them can be different. And I think that and I get your point. The diversity is what we're looking for, and it's proven that companies make more money when they have diverse teams. So I mean, it's a win-win situation. And yeah, and
Absolutely.
again, the world has been male dominated for centuries. So I think we can contribute too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just say this is not an argument, right?
No,
Um,
of course. Yeah, yeah. No, it's a good
right. So
discussion. Yeah.
I want this to be different, no
Yeah.
question. But this in
Yeah.
itself, like you've done it for so long, now it's no argument for nobody, right? So
Exactly.
because it could be an argument for wars also, right? Um,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't work that way. That's all I think. It's my opinion, right?
I know. I
Um,
know. Yeah.
no,
No.
but it's really interesting. And you said you took some traits of boys, right? That's how I understand your development and your youth. What do you think? And this goes back to an audiobook I listened to about Angela Merkel,
Mhm.
right? So she was Chancellor of Germany for a long, long time, and there was one also female psychologist, and she said that Miss Merkel didn't understand to lead like men. And she says, like, leading like men is not something like that men do. It's the right way of leading, right? The men just do it in the way people need to be led, right? And
Yeah.
Miss Merkel didn't learn it. What do you think about that? I found this very provocative.
It is.
It came
Um,
from a woman, right? So
I know, I know. Yeah.
I was really intrigued.
It came, even if it came by a woman, doesn't mean we can't challenge it, right?
Yeah, no,
I understand her comment. I understand where she's coming from. Because some traits are seen as manlike. You need to be tough. You need to, impose yourself and fight those guys, and lead with strength. It depends on the leadership style she was hoping Angela to have, right? But I think that the phrase itself, she should lead like a man, it's so full of bias, because in the end it's like, what does that even mean? What does it mean to lead like a man? And that's where I would challenge the comment. She could explore the those traits she's referring to, which historically could make us think these are male traits. um, but yeah, I think that the phrase itself is quite biased, and like I said, it's okay, women can be biased too, and that's what we need to break, right? Probably she didn't realize it could be biased, or that she could be misunderstood on what she said.
oh no, I think she
Yeah.
was very, very clear. This was purposefully said because Miss Merkel had issues
Yeah.
um, getting her power like in place, right?
Yeah.
And this was because she didn't lead. She didn't have a clear vision, right?
Yeah.
I think the analogy was like she was going to like those knights doing the jousting, right?
Hmm.
She was going to joust without knowing how to saddle a horse or get on the horse, right?
Yeah.
So she had no weapon in that sense. This is how I understood it, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. Like I said, I completely understand this statement. I would probably phrase it a little bit differently.
but what
um,
are traits that women should learn or maybe don't get when they get raised, but that you need to lead?
Look, I'll talk about my personal experience,
Yeah.
but it's probably not just a women thing, but also a cultural thing because of my background coming from Brazil. So speaking from my personal experience, it's very hard for me to say no, or to stand my ground, or state my point. It's something I had to work on for many years. When I saw my colleagues doing it, is no, I won't do that, or no, Mr. Customer, that's not right. You don't have to be rude, but
Yeah.
it was always very uncomfortable for me to say no. And when I was pushed aside because I was a girl, maybe I didn't get a promotion I wanted, maybe I didn't get a job I wanted, I would just accept it and say, well, I would remove myself from the confrontation, and especially when I was taking courses about leadership, um, handling confrontation or handling difficult situations. That was the biggest struggle for me, because at the same time that my parents always encouraged me to do what I wanted, mm, I think that society overall always told me that, I'm a woman, I should accept what people tell me, I shouldn't say no, it's not nice for you to say no. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, at least in my country, women are raised to be people pleasers. You if your man says something, you just lower your head and
Uh,
move forward. So yeah, I think that's a male trait I really wish I had years and years ago. It would have it would have helped me with a lot of struggles, and that comes down to, to gaming, to sales engineer, to leadership. You're in a situation, you need to get confrontational, and somebody says, "Shut up, you're a girl," and you just accept it.
No, that's not acceptable at all.
Yeah.
Even the person who says that, right? That's not acceptable. Dustin here. My wife says being assertive is her superpower.
I love that. Yeah. I love that.
Very nice.
And
Irina,
there's the thing. Oh, sorry.
let's quickly jump on Irina's
Yes.
comment. Irina says, interesting point about leadership, like man, but very strong. I think the compromise is to get a mix of female and male leadership.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yes. But there aren't many examples from the past of female leadership, right? So that was the thing from the psychologist. She actually said the leadership style we have, we call it male, but essentially it's a human leadership style, right? In that
Yeah.
sense, that's kind of the idea. And Irina says also, I agree with Amanda. It's very difficult to say no. How did you learn to do it?
You have to put yourself out there. I've been to, well, especially when I was doing some training around leadership, I had a very, very good instructor, and I see him as a mentor. He would always, one of the strategies that he used was for me to put myself in the place of the person I had to say no to. And that really helped me, because that's the thing. I realized that I didn't want to say no because I didn't want them to hate me. So nobody's going to hate you just because you said no. So maybe trying to shift that, being the one that receives the message, you then exercise what you want them to hear, so you won't like offend them or something like that, but you're still going to get your message through. um so yeah, I think that's one thing I really learned. Motherhood also helped me a lot. It's been 7 years on that, and I have to say a lot of no's.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been a process, really, Irina. But I think that this workshop really helped me. And yeah, motherhood teaches you a lot of things as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It just counts that you, again, right? It's observing, like seeing, I can't say no.
Yeah.
How do I learn it, right?
And you see the effect of it, when you say it and people get you, and you're like, okay, nobody's hating me, I can do this.
Mhm.
Or how to impose yourself, and things like that. So yeah, it works. It's worth the try. It's hard in the beginning, but yeah, we can do it.
Yeah. Dustin has also a tip. Irina, just practice it in the mirror. Focus on your facial expressions.
That's so
No.
important. That's really important.
Yeah. Well, what's the hardest thing in saying no, right? So you can say no, but what if people come back every day? Well, the example. Let's make an example, right? Let's say you have a deal. You have a team of sales engineers, right?
Uh-huh.
What if, let's say, you say no to one of your people working on an opportunity, right? So, and you discuss it with the AE. Now this escalates up a level to the VP, and the VP comes to you and says, like, Amanda, what about your person on my deal? How do you
Well,
stay with the no?
yeah, you got to be honest. I've had to say a few no's to people above me.
Mhm.
You have to, because I've made the mistake of taking it all in and say, no, I'm gonna do this. I'll prove to them that they will give me any workload and I can handle it. And that led me to a lot of stress and not being able to to deliver the way that I wanted to deliver. And I think that, especially when you're talking to people above you, you always have to set the expectations not so much based on emotions, but the what's going to be the outcome of that, and be able to explain the consequences.
Mhm.
So it's happened that I'm tasked something, and I have to go back and push back and say, look, I'm not going to do this, because if I do this, the consequences are going to be this. If you want me to do it anyway, we're going to need to find a different way of doing it. But I know how this is going to end. And then, yeah, just being able to object, that's something I had to learn the hard way.
Mm.
Just getting very stressed until the point, you just have to try it. And I think that if people are reasonable, if you're not in a like toxic environment, or it's you you learn how to do it. You learn how to put up your boundaries.
Yeah.
um so yeah,
Yeah.
there are things I did in the past because I didn't want to say no, that I would never do again today, like absorbing a workload much higher than I could. um yeah.
Do you think women have more pressure to prove themselves?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
What are have you recognized subtle like statements or things that happen to you that push you?
uh I think that, okay, it's more of a feeling than anything else,
Mm.
but when you see the recognition coming to your male peers easier than they come to you,
Mm.
that shows you that you need to do things a little bit harder to get recognized as well.
Yeah.
Like if you and your peer do the exact same thing, he gets recognized. Oh, he's the golden boy, he does all we need. And then you go and you do it, and you don't get any praises, or you're just doing your job. But then if you go one step further, you get that recognition. So I think it has a lot to do with the way that our leaders perceive us as well, because that's another unconscious bias. I'm very happy today to be in an organization in which the people above me recognize me and my peers equally. And they understand my strength, and they also understand the things I need to improve.
Mm.
And they give me recognition when I do it. So that I mean that's it seems like it's so basic, right? That's how
Yeah.
it should be. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's not.
No, and that's what we consider a modern organization, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems we are still suffering from our tribal, like, yeah, thousand of years old history, right? In some
Yeah.
way.
Exactly.
May- I want to give you another task, or a small story, where I
Yeah.
would love to understand how you would react. Just imagine you're now sales engineering leader, right? And let's assume your company, everybody else is male in the leadership team, and you join a meeting with the highest ranks. All the leaders are there. CEO is there. The group starts. You work on, I don't know, on your next year's plan, whatever the strategy. And the CEO says like, Amanda, that's great that you're here. Would you take notes on what we discuss?
I mean, I don't mind taking notes as long as they hear my ideas too. know. Um. Yeah. Um. I really don't mind. That has happened before, but not just. I mean, that I was asked to take notes, but I had seen other peers having to take notes as well. If that happens on a regular basis, I would probably complain. I don't mind taking notes as long as I can also contribute. Yeah.
But how do you contribute if you take notes?
It's
You
a
you
hard
cannot
task.
fully grasp the conversation, right? It's
Yeah.
effectively canceling you out.
Yeah, yeah. I think I would have to look for a pattern there, because it could be an unfortunate coincidence. It happens. Somebody has to take the notes, right?
Yeah,
But if I see that I'm the one who takes the notes all the time, or if it's my female peers only that take the notes, I would definitely protest. Um, oh, there you go. There's a comment from Dustin.
yeah. I would say protest about
Yeah,
this all the time, right? Because it's, if you're the only female in the room, it's, the CEO made a mistake. Not only that, high caliber leaders that he pays high price need to take notes, right, for
yeah,
the whole group, like the protocol. There should be someone who just takes the protocol who's not part of leadership team, right? And
yeah,
then it's the only woman there. No,
yeah,
I think you should speak up and say no.
yeah, yeah. No, that's the. I mean, sometimes it could happen that you don't have a person to take notes there, or you don't want somebody else inside of a leadership team meeting because they don't need to know the things that are being talked about there, or you're
Yeah,
doing a workshop or something. But I think that you need to take rounds on that, otherwise it's just wrong.
yeah. And I think that's a part of that needs to happen, right? Fighting for your position.
Yeah,
It's like saying the no, right? If you say no and the next day you say yes, you lost everything, and people
yeah.
know, okay, we can switch her
And you
around.
know what, it really I think that the women listening to us right now, they can really relate when we hear something and we don't realize how bad it is at the time, and then you won't
Mhm.
when you only realize it later.
Yeah.
um of course you can always go back and try to clarify things, but I was in a meeting once that we were recording videos uh, for a marketing strategy and everything, and I was part of the team that was recording those videos. um, and one of the sales directors, they said that for the videos in his particular language for his region, he wanted one of the girls in the sales team to record the video. When we had a sales engineer that could record it just fine, it was just reading a script, but he wanted the girl. And he said, well, she's a girl, it's a man's world. And I think I was the only one in the room that heard it, but I didn't realize what he said, that
Mhm.
he wanted to use a girl in the video because it would be more attractive to customers. um and I left and went home, and then it hit me, and I was like, oh my god, he really said this. This is, I mean, why? And this was like a few years ago. It
Mhm.
wasn't like 20 years ago, and people still have this kind of mentality. I lost an opportunity there to speak up, and I didn't want to shame him or anything, but yeah, I went back and brought it back to HR, and I didn't want to expose myself either. And I was actually the only person in the room that heard that. But you know
Mhm.
it's not acceptable. And that's when I say we need to recognize those biases. We need to understand what is acceptable to bring up or not. Nowadays, might have been acceptable in the past, it's not anymore today. The
Mhm.
thing that you said about taking notes, that's so true. It's so natural, right?
Yeah.
um yeah,
I mean, as you said, maybe it's even unconscious, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
even that situation helps raise awareness. You, you don't need to be like unfair or something when speaking up, but like
yeah,
maybe pointing towards it. As I said, I never had an issue like this. I just have this the story in my mind because somebody
yeah,
told me, and and I find it interesting how you would react because I think you think about those situations more often and you're more capable to handle them, right?
yeah,
Just because you're in them more often, right?
yeah. And there's a lot of today, there's a lot of stigma about, there are some people that still think that women have had a lot of progress in terms of gender equality, and we did make a lot of progress,
Yeah,
but there's still so much to get there. um And there are people that say, well, women have already conquered enough, you got the quality. But it, we should always be listening, we should always be learning, and we can't just live inside of our own bubble. There are different situations in different companies, in different regions. And I still see, in organizations, women that that I personally know that did not get promoted, even though they had the right skills.
Mm.
Another guy that didn't have the same skills got promoted in their place. Or I flip out. A friend told me that this week that they wanted to get a team lead position. They applied for it. The company decided to promote another guy and then test her to mentor the guy with the skills that he needs to be a team lead. It's it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and this still happens today. There's still a huge pay gap. And I think I'm fortunate to have a partner that treats me as equal. But
Mhm.
I have a lot of friends that, they do their 9 hours at work, and they come home and they have to take care of the kids, they have to prepare dinner, they have
Mhm.
to clean the house, and take care of the man as well,
Yeah.
because it's their job. Fortunately, it doesn't happen in my house, but I know a lot of people that have to have like a double shift like that. So that
Yeah.
that shouldn't happen anymore.
Yeah. We are completely equal here in my home. We completely stopped cleaning. So it works. It works very well. Well, what is you gave me a term when we met the first time that I never heard before. You said to me mansplaining.
Oh, yeah.
Let's close the session with this. What's mansplaining?
Oh, what's mansplaining? I love it when I see it happening. And um it's when, you know um you have a man explain to you something that you know as if you didn't, and they for example, I've worked with, let's say, data protection solutions for most of my career. That's a business that I know inside out.
Yeah.
um I There are men that could come to me and try to explain what backup is, which is something really basic in that industry,
Mhm.
as if I didn't know it, even though I have years and years of experience in it. Or, you know anything that there you see a lot of that in social media, especially like men trying to explain to women how their period works, or how
Oh,
are female related diseases, like I don't know, breast cancer, or um
okay.
it's yeah, it's when a man thinks that they need to explain to a woman something that the woman knows, but they do it as if they didn't know, you know as if, even though it's something that, a knowledge that she dominates,
Yeah.
he tries to explain it to her as if she was ignorant on it. And it happens a lot. Yep.
Okay. Do you have any idea why? So that maybe I'm guilty too. I don't know. Um, I hope not. But
I wouldn't see you do that, Patrick. Knowing you a little bit.
is this so? Let's gossip a bit about man. Is it a trait for a specific kind of man?
um yeah, it's usually a macho behavior. When you have the thinking that well, you go from the point that women know less than you, anytime, you know they will always know less than you, so you can talk to women about anything, even though they dominate a particular topic. You can talk about it with them, and you can show them that you know more than them, even though you don't. you know um that's what mansplaining is about, is when you try to, mm, lower women down by using the knowledge and by, thinking that you already know more than them. So yeah, or explaining things that are pretty obvious, and you just take it for sure that a woman wouldn't know that topic because it's not a woman's topic, like,
Mhm.
I don't know. My dad taught me how to fix my own car. I can't say I can do a lot of stuff. I know how a car works,
Mhm.
and I've had some old cars, and I can fix minor things. But yeah, I have men talking to me about cars as if I didn't know anything about it, and
Mhm.
they wouldn't do that to another male. You know, they assume I don't know anything about cars because I'm a girl.
Yeah. Sounds
Or
like kind of power play or something like that, right?
yeah, oh, definitely, definitely,
Mm.
yes, it is totally power play. Yeah, I had a situation happen to me in the car wash the other day. My car was in the machine, and the machine suddenly stopped in the middle of the washing cycle, and a guy came after me. And at this time I was just leaving the place to go call somebody in the gas station to go fix the machine. And the guy was like, Are you sure you did it right? Did you park the car right?" And I was like, "This is not rocket science, You just put the car in the right spot and the machine goes. That's it." And I
Mm.
told him, "You see that mark over there? That's where you need to put your car. And then you put the card here, and then the machine goes." And I went to the gas station. I called the maintenance guy. When the maintenance guy came, he asked the same question. "Oh, are you sure that you put the car in the right place?
Mm.
How does
Mm.
this machine work?" And the guy explained the same thing I had said. And I was so stressed. I felt my ears burning.
Mm.
But I don't think he would have asked it so many times if it was another guy there.
Yeah.
It's like stupid girl that doesn't know how to use the car wash machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people don't watch like what they do to others, right? Especially
Yeah.
when they have their own troubles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, weird. But hopefully you got your car back.
Oh no, yeah, no. My car was washed, and something got stuck in the machine. The guy just restarted it.
Yeah.
Probably it was probably
So
a
you could
server
say like
behind it
you're the
that got stuck.
IT expert. Like, what did you do with the software, right? You could ask.
You just restart it, and it will probably work.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, very nice. Thank you, Amanda, for this great session. Is
Thank you
there
so much.
anything you want to say as last words?
Well, thank you for giving me the space. Like I told you, um, for me, by giving me the space here, you're helping me bring a message that maybe sometimes your audience doesn't hear.
Yeah.
Um, it's okay for girls to game. It's okay for girls to like technology,
Yes.
watch Rick and Morty, be sales engineers.
Yes.
We are capable, and it's by doing that, you're just sponsoring me to do this, and we need more guys like you doing that. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to have a partner that treats me as equal, to have a boss that treats me as equal, um, and people like you that help us have a voice. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure, and thanks for being open and all your stories that came. Yeah, were very like sensitive into your life, right? So
Yeah.
thank you very much for sharing them. Yeah, everybody on the stream, we are well over 5 minutes. Um, we will stop here. Thanks for joining. If there's any comments afterwards, please send them into the chat. We will see them. Follow our YouTube channel so we see us next week.
Thank
Bye
you so
bye. It
much,
was a
Patrick.
pleasure.
Bye.
Bye bye, Amanda.
Bye.
And we go out with the widget.